The father fish method is wrong. We all know it. Everyone in the fish shop's talking about it, and it's all in every comment section of every aquarium, chat room, forum. But is it actually wrong? Or does father fish have a magical type of thinking? Does he have a mystical fourth dimension of thought that none of us have considered? When you consider his main topics, his points of contention that everyone talks about, not cleaning your water, not cleaning your tank, the front loading of nutrition into your aquarium, the not feeding your fish, the ecosystem in a jar that you drop in your tank from a pond, are these wrong? Or is he thinking of things slightly different to the rest of us? Now, when you start considering things in the fourth dimension, like let's consider Einstein here. Let's put this analogy into perspective. So imagine we've got energy and it's constantly cycled through the aquarium, and we've got the matter, we've got the plants, the fish, the invertebrates, and they're all in there indefinitely on this, and the energy's cycling. Then the fourth dimension is the time. And I think that's what people are fundamentally misunderstanding about the father fish method. He is trying to deal with the limitations regarding an ecosystem aquarium with regards to time. And when we start thinking with this fourth dimension of our ecosystem through time as a closed ecosystem, then it makes you realise that father fish is actually onto something, his thought process. Rather than being like little points of contention being dismissed, oh, well, you need to feed your fish, so therefore the father fish method is wrong. That's not a logical conclusion. With the father fish method, he's thinking about things in relation to time, which is an important aspect to consider when we're looking at an ecosystem aquarium. How is what I'm doing now affecting the future balance of my aquarium? And what can I do now that'll set me up for success in the future with my ecosystem? And as far as I'm concerned, that's a fantastic thought process that no one is talking about. And it leads to some interesting discussions, and it leads your thought process down some interesting avenues of what could we be doing in regards to nutrient cycling, because if the less water changes we do, the longer we've got nutrients in our system for. And if we get the right ones in and keep the wrong ones out, then it's in there indefinitely, and things aren't building up to a toxic level, are they? Because the plants are filtering the water, the fish, the bacteria, the plants, they're all living in a symbiotic relationship that doesn't necessarily have to be impacted on negatively. And I really appreciate this thought process, I really do. And in terms of systems biology, it gives us a fascinating avenue into where we can take our low-tech planted ecosystem aquarium hobby, and it makes me think about things in a different light. And I've spent the best part of 20 years studying the Wallstad method, low-tech tanks, what nutrients. Let me put it this way, it instantly makes you start thinking about what soil we're going to put in from a different perspective, and what substrate we're going to cap with it, and what plants we're going to use and what benefits. Like I've talked about Wallstad hacks, haven't I, with the early advantage and plants that use bicarbs if CO2 is low. But what we have to remember is all this stuff's going to balance over time, and that's the fourth dimension I'm talking about. And I hope you can appreciate the father fish method and what I'm trying to say with regards to his method and his thought process, the ideology, the paradigm that he's creating. And let's let's have that conversation, guys. Let's because it's interesting, isn't it? I hope you can appreciate the points I'm trying to make. Now, do I agree with everything the Father Fish method's teaching, or is it wrong? Let me just put it this way. When you're considering someone's method, what you have to understand is over a certain period of time, they've had unique challenges and experiences within the hobby. Like, no water's the same. Eventually, water will stabilise in an ecosystem, so it's relatively the same as other people's tanks, but the water coming out your tap's different, the soil substrate in everyone's aquarium slightly different, so it creates a unique environment. So what might work for one person in the short term might not work for another, and that's something that everyone needs to understand. Is we all generate our own philosophy on fish keeping. Now, this channel with me, over the last 18 months, I've gone full circle. My first fish tank I sat in front of was dirted, and it was a black water tank, and I've gone through dirted tanks, I've gone through goldfish, I've gone through shrimp breeding and fish breeding, and it's all gone full circle. And I'm really looking forward to next year, because I want to combine everything into one whole philosophy, and that's the important thing. If you're asking someone for their opinion on something, you need to engage with their whole philosophy of how they feed the fish, how they look after their plants, how they maintain their aquarium, and how, in relation to ecosystems, how they believe it should be balanced. And with the Father Fish method, I think that's an important grasp, where it's different. I watched this video on the limitations of the Wallstad method. Now, obviously, that's triggered a light bulb moment, and he's thought, how's that going to run through time? So when you're creating, if you're a beginner, a new aquarist, or if you haven't considered it from that point of view before, it gives you a chance to build a unique philosophy from your perspective of what you're comfortable with fish keeping. And it's definitely something I'll be applying to my philosophy from now on. Hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a cracking new year, and I can't wait to get stuck into the new year, into the channel, and